The Sandbox is essentially a virtual world where anyone can become a creator, and we've been using blockchain technology to empower those creators to truly own their digital creation. We have more than 400 major brands partner, including in fashion, including in sports, in gaming, music, and entertainment. Some of the most popular plot of land are with Snoop Dogg or with Ubisoft. Cool. We had Gucci, we had Lacoste, Warner Music, and other cool brands and celebrities.
Paris Hilton.
Video game is part of like our culture everywhere. Like there's 3.5 billion gamers around the world.
The game is not just like dumb like shooting games, but as you said, it's way more. It's also about mental health. It's about connectivity, community, interacting with people, interacting with brands. Take your front row seat at the edge of fashion's next evolution. I'm your host, Dr. Karin, and in today's episode of Rewire Fashion, we're diving into how gaming is becoming the new frontier for brand storytelling, identity, and cultural relevance. With me is Sebastien Borget, co-founder and COO of the Sandbox, a space where fashion, luxury, and creativity unfold as interactive worlds, not static campaign. Welcome, Sebastien.
Thank you, Karin.
I'm happy to have you here.
Absolutely, yes.
Sebastien, what is the Sandbox? And is it a game? Is it a metaverse? Or is it something way bigger than that?
So the Sandbox is essentially a virtual world where anyone can become a creator. And we've been using blockchain technology to empower those creators to truly own their digital creation and be able to monetize them.
Yeah.
We exist since 2011, originally as a mobile game, but we moved into blockchain around 2018. And since then, we became this 3D decentralized platform. We have done like major brands partnerships. So I think we have more than 400 major brands partner, including in fashion, including in sports, in gaming, music, and entertainment. And we also have we're very well known for our virtual map, which is a place where brands and creators and users own a digital space where they can publish their creation and make it accessible to other users. As well as we have our currency, our token called Sand, which is also one of the top 100 cryptocurrency in the world.
Okay, sounds really cool. So it's not just a game.
It's a full platform, which is comprised of several tools. Of course, the creation tool. First, our 3D editor called VoxEdit, where people can model. So voxels are like sort of digital Legos. They are like 3D pixel or cubes. And it's so easy and so accessible to use it to model your creation, to repaint, and then you can share that and publish it on the marketplace for other users to collect, buy, and or use to their own games. We also have a no-code game maker. So essentially, the idea is like anyone can just like start making games or experience with drag and drop. They don't need to learn any programming language.
So no experience needed.
Exactly.
Even I can do it. Okay.
That's the idea. Like we want anyone to bring to life their imagination. And we've been able to onboard hundreds of thousands of first-time creators thanks to that tool.
Cool.
Then we have this map I was referring before, which is comprised of 166, 464 land and not a single more. So that's a finite map. That's about 80% of it has been sold to date.
Okay.
Progressively in small neighborhood next to your favorite celebrities. So some of the most popular plot of land are with Snoop Dogg or with Ubisoft. We had Gucci, we had Lacoste, Warner Music, and other cool brands and celebrities.
Paris Hilton, does she have as well?
Okay. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
That's the topic of today.
That's cool.
And then we have the game client where like people use and can explore those different worlds and experience that can be game, but that can be also other sort of experiences that have been built with the game maker, either by the creator themselves or by our team in partnership with the brands. And so today, Sandbox is roughly 8 million accounts. So we keep growing.
Wow.
We are one of the leader projects in this space of like decentralized virtual world, what we call Web3, because we use the blockchain technology. And we're the third largest virtual world after Roblox and Fortnite that also do all that brands partnership and experience integration, which is, as you said, like a hot topic now as many brands and around the world are discovering that gaming is a great vector for like driving adoption, storytelling, and more.
I want to come back to this statement of yours that gaming is really important. But first, I have two questions. I mean, you said that you started as a game, and then you made the game blockchain based. What's the reason? If you could just quickly explain that.
I think it's very easy. It's aligned with our mission. Since the beginning, we wanted to empower anyone to become a creator. It's always been my dream to make video games and to share content with others. So around 2011, the beginning of smartphones and the ability to make your own app and publish it on the App Store, we launched a first game. And on smartphone, what's great is you have this touch screen. So just by the touch of your finger, you can do magic. Pixels can drop as you touch the fingers. And you bring to life creation, whether they are drawings, they are full games, they are experiments. You publish it into an online gallery and other users can play what you created. That's user-generated content.
I love that,
We've had massive success with Sandbox. We had over 40 million downloads on mobile by then, 70 million player-made creation over 8 years. But also a major frustration over time, our best creators, even if we were featuring them, contacting them and driving some visibility and giving them access to early builds and so on, we found that they were leaving after a few months or a few years. And the main reason is essentially there was not enough incentive or motivation for them to keep creating all the time. Fame and reputation wasn't enough. So what next we could offer is monetization. So we started to draft contracts and send them payment by PayPal and other online payment services. But it's painful. You have a hard time to reach to all the creators. And so we were struggling with that. It costs money, time, of course, is not efficient. We could manage 100 creators at best. What we found is basically we were struggling to reward our best creators who are essentially contributing to the financial success of the game and the broader success of the game through the content they are making. So we really wanted as a company to share back with the creator, but we couldn't because of the restriction of the App Store, the Google Play Store, and so on. Players can make payments to you, but you cannot send money to your users with those. So around 2017, we discovered about blockchain. My background is I'm an engineer, I'm a geek, I love to explore new technologies, so I explored blockchain, Bitcoin, understanding how it works, and came out the first game that used blockchain called CryptoKitties, where users could buy virtual cats, breed them, exchange them between users, even on the marketplace outside the game. And what essentially the technology behind that enabled the user to be able to sell between each other those virtual cats. It's called NFTs, non-fungible tokens. And we found that NFTs were actually a solution to that problem. If instead of virtual cats, we had any content made by our user become an NFT, users could sell them, could exchange between each other, and could get paid instantly using cryptocurrency without us in the middle. And so that gave us the idea we have to use that right from the core, and we wanted to take that occasion to rebuild Sandbox this time, not just as a 2D mobile game, but that we a full platform, 3D, multi-platform, multiplayer, and with all our different tools to support the creativity of our users.
That's amazing. And what year was that exactly?
So it was around 2018.
Okay, and, very early, I would say.
Well, we were exactly. We were one of the early pioneers projects in the space.
That's amazing. I mean, I love that. I've been in the crypto space for many, many years as well. And I have to out myself. As a kid, I was really into gaming. Now I don't have the time anymore.
So I was. We have all grown. Now it's my professional life, so it's hard to say I'm playing games. I'm analyzing games. I'm benchmarking. I'm always trying to understand what they are doing great.
You have an excuse now, right? No, but I'm really into gaming, and I just loved as a kid, it was end of the 80s and 90s, especially when Nintendo came up. I mean, I was such a huge fan, and I mean, I still am, but as I said, if I sit in front of the computer or a TV gaming, I mean, I won't stop, so I can't do my job anymore.
But what you're describing is exactly why, it actually like video games matter.
Yeah.
Because like every brand, every company in the world, they are now competing for user attention. And you just described like once you're hooked into a video game, that's where you spend most of your time.
100%.
And you don't see that as work. You don't see that as like something painful. Usually like games allow us to create world that carry us, make us motivated to progress, to go through quests and so on. And also like that's really what like you were mentioning about Nintendo. Nintendo has contributed to enlarge the actual audiences of video games. So back in the 80s and 90s, video games were still seen as something a little bit niche, a bit geek out of the market. Yeah. Being a geek was actually a bad word.
Yeah, it was not positive at all.
Positive,
no,
like you were a bit ostracized and you were
100%.
Everybody was thinking, oh, he's playing video games. He must be this kind of
weirdo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And now, like, video game is part of like our culture. It's everywhere. Like, there's 3.5 billion gamers around the world. The Nintendo.
Sorry,
the
say
Switch,
it again. How many?
3.5 billion gamers.
Billion. Okay.
Billion. But
that's crazy.
When you think gamers, you have to stop thinking people who play first-person shooter game and shoot at each other on a console or on a PC. These are people who are playing games on their smartphone, casual games like Match 3 or like Candy Crush or like simulation game where you build your virtual town, you challenge your friends into those casual or hyper-casual games. And so smartphone, the console like Nintendo have contributed to enlarge the audiences until like younger audience on the one side and much older audience as well. Like you can play with your parents, your grandparents. It's very social. It's very normally accepted now to play game.
That's
no
true.
more.
Yeah.
And I just come back from Gamescom in Cologne in Germany. That is the largest video game fair in Europe. There's roughly 300,000 people who are coming to discover the new game that are launching. And what's super interesting is like in this space, it's a huge conference hall. There's like 10 big halls. You have on one side all the big franchise like FIFA, and we'll have all the game and their sequel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and every year there is the 6 and the 7 and so on. And on the other side, you have all that huge place and a lot of people coming to see indie games, like small games developed by very tiny teams that tend to be like a new genre, more exploratory, more experimental. Some of those, sometimes you have a hard time to distinguish, are they game? Are they social experiment? Are they just interactive story? How do you approach it? And that, for me, it's a great testament that really video games are part of our culture, and that's why, as a medium, it's actually very interesting. If you compare video games toward like social media or TV or other channels, like we all burn out of it. Like we also heard like all the negativity around like the impact of like social media, the constant scrolling of news, feeds that push you only progressively news based on what you read, so you discover less and less interesting content. And all the mental health issues that it carries. So social media also carry quite a negative image now.
I agree.
And the attention time that users have on average on social media is very short because it's optimized by the platform for short attention span, so you can sweep and constantly watch other content. Short videos are great, but constantly short videos of 30 seconds, 1 minute is not necessarily the best way to convey strong meaning, strong message, strong engagement. How do you retain user? How do you engage? How do you tell your story when you have only 30 seconds, sometimes less, of a user attention?
And also as brands, how do you build worlds, right? And experiences and
consistency. Who will remember the post that you did 2 months ago on your channel? You did a great marketing campaign, very creative. Then you try to survey your user. How many of them have gone through the whole campaign? And
probably
after
not a
6
lot.
months, like who remembers what you did? That we live in like this proliferation of content that's also accelerated with AI, makes that people are less and less sticky around like the experience and the content they see. It's being I wouldn't say it's almost content pollution, but with video games,
I know what
it's
you
a
mean.
medium that you sticky because you're very engaged into. You're not consuming passively. You actually make choice, you make decision, you take your time to explore. You
and
decide
you spend
how
a lot of time,
explore.
right? I would say.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you know what the average time is? Do we have data there or not?
What we're seeing at Sandbox is users are spending between 30 minutes to 60 minutes into an experience.
Yeah.
And it's also part, of course, into the game design of the experience. Like, if the world is just empty and you have nothing to do, it's beautiful. Of course, the user will not spend more than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But if you give them reason to go talk to a person, a character, and that character will explain you the story, and it makes you explore and find some clues all around the map and so on, and you have some challenges that also require some skills, yes, you can get users to actually spend some time and want to go and complete 100% of that experiment. And that's what we are seeing. Like when they spend that 30 to 60 minutes, it's actually because users are...
It's a lot.
Like they go 98% of them complete the experience.
Wow.
Like have you seen any medium where users can reach the end of what you want to tell them at that level? I think it's...
No, I don't
rare.
think so, because a lot of people just lose their patience, right? I mean, especially the attention span right now is low, right? I mean, people don't have, they want to stick to it and see what happens. So if you don't stimulate it all the time, right?
Like there's a reason we call it gamification. Gamification is the way like you give a feeling of progression, a feeling of achievement, and you motivate people to go to the next level.
Yeah, incentives, rewards. So what we know,
virtual world and even more like decentralized virtual world that use Web3 are perfect for that because even the incentive and the rewards, they are actually valuables and they are yours. That's a big difference.
I think you have to explain that because probably not everyone is aware of like Web3, what Web3 is, and what's the difference between, as I would say, the world we know and Web3. Why?
Why? Well, without losing everybody with the tech, I think what's important to keep in mind is like pretty much every digital content that we consume or we buy on a platform do not belong to us.
Okay.
Like, even if we pay real money with our credit cards or other ways, actually that content we can be taken away from us at any point of time by the platform.
Yeah. So my avatar.
If you leave the avatar or the point or the character, the skins, the currency that you bought in your game, it's not yours. If you stop playing, there's no way you can get your money back for what you paid. If you want to send some to your friends, you can't. So it's actually you're spending real cash to get virtual content that stays on a platform, siloed there, and you have very limited options on what you can do.
Oh, okay.
Now with Web3 and blockchain technology, all the content that you actually buy actually belongs to you. It's, I wouldn't say stored on a wallet, but the wallet gives you access to that content and you can transfer it to other users. You can use it on other games and applications. You can sell it on the marketplace. And you don't need to ask the permission to anybody to
because
do
it's
that.
yours.
Because it's yours.
You're
and
the
I
owner.
think there will be, we're still in that transition phase where like we're trying to understand that NFTs can represent real world asset or digital content of value. And the notion of like digital property should be a fundamental right.
Yeah,
so
I
that,
agree.
Like we will no longer distinguish if I sell you this cup of tea for money, you can fill it and you can decide to resell it to someone else. And if I buy an avatar or a skin or a dress in a game, that I can also choose to give it to someone or to resell it on the secondary marketplace.
100%.
And this is my fundamental right as a user. Nobody can take that away.
Yeah, and that's the tricky part also from a legal perspective, because I'm a lawyer, so I had some projects like these, and they were like, yeah, this is a digital asset and people should own it. But then I had to break down, like, what do they actually own? Because it's not a tangible physical asset, you know. that you can have ownership on the asset, and then is it like the IP rights or is it licensing rights? So you have to think through it, and understand what it actually is. And there are many different ways. Plus, there's many different jurisdictions who see it differently as well, right?
Absolutely, there's different jurisdiction, but there's also different licensing rights that
Correct.
come with the ownership of a digital asset. Sometimes the ownership of like a character or an image gives you the right for the personal reproduction and non-commercial right, but that doesn't give you the intellectual property
Correct.
of the character. Like whoever has designed or drawn that character will retain the intellectual property. Sometimes more permissive licenses around certain NFT projects will allow you to actually reproduce, sell, and even license your character to other brands. So we've seen collection where owning, for example, the Bored Ape allows you to put the Bored Ape character. So the Bored Ape are like little monkey faces that have been very well valued and known as one of the most popular products. You could license it and put it on a bottle of wine and sell that wine. That's your right, and you can earn revenue from that. So it's true that it can be confusing because some projects do not go as far as like really clarifying that for the users.
Usually they don't at all.
Yes. And I think it's important because when you work with top brand, when you work with real-world creators who come with their IP, their legacy, of course they care. Like they want to make sure like you sell like a digital replica of something. Users can play with them across the video game. They have the right to sell that replica, but that doesn't give them the right to make a copy of the
which is sad because you're limiting also the creativity. You were talking about like creativity and giving also power to the users, like in the beginning, right? That users should actually interact with each other without you being the middleman. And I think that's actually a beautiful approach, right? So middlemen should be out. Users should be like interacting with each other. They should also own the rights, and they could also, maybe they become even more creative if they own the rights. They own the rights to change the avatar, the skin, whatever it is, the digital asset. I think that's really crucial, that projects are aware of that as well,
It really depends. Some creators tend to say this is, like, and specifically like in the luxury sector, they are more protective of their brand.
Of course, right?
But they start to open themselves and accept like user-generated content, for example. So they would agree to say, all right, we will provide official licensed content as NFT, such as like avatars. We have the example of Paris Hilton or Lacoste as a collaboration with Sandbox. And we will allow users to use them as their identity and to play not only into our official Lacoste or Gucci land or Paris Hilton land, but in other land on the map as well.
So you can take it outside the world.
Exactly. We don't touch so much about the idea of Metaverse, but that's the definition of Metaverse is the ability of like taking your digital identity and all your digital content across any other game, app, location in a seamless way. So you don't have to really think about it. You don't have to ask the permission. It's
interoperable.
Exactly. And what we're seeing more and more brands open themselves to UGC, user-generated content, because they also see the benefit. First, users already want that. Like they are doing it without asking their permission.
I can imagine.
It's actually fan-made content, and even sometimes like the definition of being a fan of some brand, of some celebrity, is to produce a lot of content on behalf of that without officially asking and contributing to growing the reputation of that and the word of mouth around it. So now they can do that. They've been doing it on YouTube, for example. They've been doing it
on TikTok as well.
TikTok.
I see.
When you were a kid and maybe you were playing with like toys and Legos, how many times did you bring your Superman hero and your Barbie doll and you made them play together and then you built a city in Legos and you put some cars so you're already creating those stories where you're mixing all your favorite content and character, and that should be possible in digital world as well when you think about it. It's a natural evolution. And so Sandbox allows to take your content from almost like 400 of your favorite characters from cartoon, entertainment, gaming, comics, sports, athletes, and fashion brand, and put them to create a world that comes from your imagination. And the brand benefit because it's still attention for them. It's still like user empowerment, so it's a positive value that they convey, and it's more visibility because their content is displayed on a lot of other places than the official land or experience they will be.
Yeah, and also, I mean, it's free content, so to say, and it's authentic content as well, and they have fans, they interact with their fans, I would say, they interact with their customers, and I think that's just beautiful. It's like really you build like a creator's economy, basically, right?
Like it's empowering people to build content with you or your official brand and teaching them new skills, letting them discover about like making their own video game, letting them eventually start earning a revenue from like the content they produce. So it has a very positive message and positive value to drive your users to our like user-generated content platform and video games. Whereas sometimes like when you encourage people just to watch a video and like, the scope of the action that you are asking your users to do, a like, a comment, a reshare, is so limited. It's hard to talk about engagement when you think about it.
Yeah, sometimes I see something for 2 seconds and like it, right?
I like it.
Yeah.
It's automatically it's fun, I like it.
Yeah,
exactly. What does that mean? Does that mean I understood the message?
Probably
does that
not.
mean I understand the brand? Does
Probably
that mean like for me, user-generated content is the best way to show like the kind of engagement you can get from your user because they are going to produce content, they are going to play your experience, to stay sticky to it, to start paying more attention and listening and learning sometimes. And the gaming is the best way to actually learn content. First of all, like it's something that we've seen a lot, specifically when you think about like the Montessori method. And so people love to learn by interacting, by touching, by mobilizing multiple senses. If you go to the schools in the Nordic countries, like the kids are not seated on their table listening to the teacher. They are moving all around, touching and understanding concepts. I think, again, like if you want to move a message to let people learn more about who you are, it's better to let them learn by engaging into a mission that they're completing, so they understand the purpose and they get motivated to do so, and they find their own way to solve the problem, than just to display a text and push to them the information.
And they just consume.
So we're all thinking again like about education at school, in museum, in every place. Everybody's looking at how do we gamify our interaction so we can better make people better remember and care for like what we are trying to teach them as well. So it's a general movement. And now that gaming is finally understood that it's not something for the weirdo, ostracized, and it's only about like shooting at each other. Gaming brings great value. There is like play for change, game for teaching about sustainability, game about like well-being, mental health, and so on. It carries a lot of positive value, which I think it's helping again for like why we are present in a virtual world and why we do games.
Yeah, and I think that's really important for people to understand that game is not just like dumb, like shooting games, but as you said, it's way more. It's also about mental health. It's about connectivity, community, interacting with people, interacting with brands. So it's so much more. It's a whole new world, basically. And speaking of storytelling and interactivity, so fashion brands have already built in the past like worlds. I mean, you can just look at fashion brands like Chanel. They have beautiful fashion shows, insanely created worlds, basically. I think once they even brought an iceberg from somewhere, I don't know, from Scandinavia, to Paris and created this beautiful world. They created chalets, they created airports, like everything around fashion. So they built a lot of like cinematic worlds as well. And in Sandbox, I feel like we're seeing basically the digital version of it, if I can say that, of that kind of like storytelling, but also pop-up stores probably, or pop-up experiences. For example, in June, when we met actually in New York, I went to a mystery at the Groom's interactive installation of Hermès, and it was so interesting because it was like 6 rooms, and people could just go there as a group. And you had to get the ticket, and then you went there, and you had to find horses, and they were hidden everywhere. So hidden, I don't know, in a balloon, in a bag, and there were bags everywhere, and all the Hermès items, and it was an interactive installation which was gamified, right? In a warehouse in New York City, and it was just beautiful, and the experience was beautiful, and there were many kids, of course, but I think that's also important to already open or actually create a connection to the younger generation as well. But for me even, I mean, I went there alone and I just enjoyed it. The only a bit disappointing part is that we had to use the phone, which was cool, but then I expected to get an NFT at the end, and I didn't get anything. So
you can see there's always this like a lot of creativity from all those brands. They are expert in like creating those universe, that storytelling, etc. But the counterpart of that is like, first of all, it has a pretty large carbon footprint. If you think about like how you have to build all of that, and like the lifetime, how long will those experiences will last, and so on. Plus,
it was 10 days, right?
So all of that for 10 days, it's still like a lot. And the second thing is like, how many people in total could you reach in one city? You had to go in New York, maybe they reach 1,000 people in 10 days. Still so small.
Yeah, I agree.
So, like what gaming and virtual world offer is the ability to reach millions of people for an unlimited amount of time at a fraction of the cost and without the limits of physics. So you don't need to move an iceberg. You're not longer constrained by gravity. You can build faster. You can reach people to no matter where they are. So because brands, they want to have fans, of course, in big flagship metropoles like New York, Paris, Dubai, Tokyo, etc. But what if you're living somewhere in a mid-sized city in China or in India or in Turkey? Well, are you going to take the plane to see that?
No, probably not, right? Yeah.
And that's what, like for example, what Gucci did when they stepped in Sandbox. They had the Gucci Vault experience. They had, I think, about 10 vaults that they opened around those big cities for people to come. And they had like the digital experience in Metaverse, like Sandbox, for like hundreds of thousands of people to come to learn more about like the craftsmanship of the brand, the universe, and explore. And yes, there were like NFT rewards for people who
amazing,
So it's something that's typically our generation and the younger generation, they pay more attention to. They always love some kind of collectible proof of having been there. That's also what builds a bit like our own stories. It's the memories, the emotion that we have and we share when we are in those spaces. So now we no longer need to be there physically in person to have great emotion and great memories. When we play a MMORPG game or when we play just social hub, we remember that, we were with those friends, we played together, we completed those quests, we achieved those mission and kill that boss together. And that's why games like even World of Warcraft or other Second Life are still there after 25 years.
Oh, wow, which is crazy. I didn't know Second Life was still existing.
First time online, they got married.
That was a dating platform, actually.
It was a dating, so many people who got married to World of Warcraft and like people or Abo Hotel, those apps where like you come and you have a common interest and then you share moments, memories, and that's good enough to make a connection. So the connection doesn't need to be at a physical space in a specific location anymore. It's very normalized culturally to meet people online, to date people online now, and to meet people through video games.
That's completely normal nowadays. You mentioned a couple of brands, but I would be really interested if you could share that, like, which brands have you collaborated with so far? And maybe we can also discuss like some interesting approaches or projects.
So in the space of fashion, I think it's important because we when we onboarded different brands in Sandbox, we wanted really Sandbox to be a world of culture. So we look at fashion, at sport, at gaming, at music, at entertainment, essentially. In fashion, we onboarded Gucci, we onboarded celebrities like Snoop Dogg or Paris Hilton.
Yeah.
We have had Lacoste,
Okay.
Charles & Keith as well, which launched experiences. Some of them even launched their own avatar collection.
Yeah.
Of a few thousand, usually 3,000 to 10,000 unique characters that are randomly assigned to the player who buy them. And
Okay.
they can use as a digital identity. Some of them have launched a digital collectible that can be used, so have a real utility in the games as well. We had collaboration also with like the CFDA, Council of Fashion Designer of America.
Yep.
We have had Time Magazine.
Okay.
And we, recently Casio G-Shock as well. So, like
Okay.
lifestyle,
Okay.
sports.
Oh, G-Shock. Okay, that's interesting. That was
Jewelry,
really
you think
a
about
hype.
watch,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yes.
Wasn't it in the 90s? I don't remember. Or in
Still,
the or still? Yeah. Okay.
It's a brand that's it's incredible because like it keeps coming up with series and collaboration, and I think pretty much everyone has a G watch.
Yeah, I used to have
right?
one.
So-
Yeah, I don't have it anymore, but maybe I should buy one as well. Yeah. So it's quite interesting. So you have like very diversity of brands that work with you. I mean, not only fashion brands, but here we talk about fashion. I mean, Snoop Dogg, well, he's a fashion icon, I would say. But it's a musician, a personality, right? So that's really interesting that they see opportunities there. And which of the collaborations, or maybe you can mention one or two, did you really like, was really like cool for you?
So I really enjoy, of course, the collaboration with Snoop Dogg because it not only came as like a few experience in Sandbox, Avatar, but also a lot of benefits for the owner of those digital assets. Like
Okay,
we had
tell me more.
concert in Paris. We're not too far from the Champs-Élysées, so there was
Cool.
at Arc Club like a VIP part for the holders.
So only the holders could go and see
To
Snoop
the-
Dogg. Yeah.
Only in the VIP
The
area,
VIP.
right?
Oh, cool, yeah.
It's great as well because being a fan of a brand, of a celebrity, it means, yes, you want to always stay most up to date.
Yeah.
You want to prove you're a fan. You want to engage. So you can do that in virtual world and games. But sometimes you also want just to have a unique chance to meet
Yeah,
in
correct.
person, to chat, to attend specific. And so we provide always this combination of like real world rewards, specific special access and benefits for collectors and holders, and new digital experience, which allow for those celebrities and brands to expand as well their audience and continue to engage, even when they are not, when they are not at a concert, when they are not launching a movie, when they are not launching a new product. That's also the beauty here of like video games experiences and Metaverse is like they enable to always continue to drive your fan base to do things related to your brand, not necessarily at the same time as you are like a major launch or an actual event ongoing. So that's you can do that, of course, in combination.
Yeah.
But you can also like offer content while you are, for example, in a for a movie franchise in between the movie 1 and movie 2.
Yeah.
For example, with Jurassic, we had Jurassic World in Sandbox.
Okay, yeah.
Users could collect like exclusive dinosaur eggs, breed those dinosaurs in the dinosaur park experience, and evolve them. Of
Like
course.
Tamagotchis, or
Exactly. And it came out a few months before the movie release.
Okay.
And fan of the Jurassic Park franchise, like who isn't fan of dinosaurs? Like,
Yeah.
Since every child I know like has some T-Rex.
Yeah, me
and
too.
so
I love
on.
it. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. And so you give content. And we have fan of Attack on Titan, which is like one of the largest Japanese anime franchise. We are fan of K-pop celebrities.
Yeah, which is huge.
80s, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
Korean drama, Hollywood. If people are following it, I think it's
that's
incredible
amazing.
to see like how we can drive new stories and we can enable fans to also enter new universe. So it becomes really part of like what I call like a transmedia or 360 strategy where brands are omni-channel, omnipresent on social media, on TV. They do real world campaigns and they have also the digital and gaming presence.
What I like is really that you not only focus on the digital world, right? So you also expand it or maybe even like bridge it to the real world. And I think that's really crucial because we still live in the real world, in the physical world, right?
Like our reality is a combination of
I agree.
And physical, right?
It's a combination. It's not just like the physical and tangible world. It's not just the virtual world. I mean, a lot of people live there. I know that. But still, like the bridging, that's amazing. I think that's really important. And that's why I think you're also so successful. And I think also brands should embrace that. And I don't know, maybe we can just talk about like some activations are flops. I mean, maybe not on Sandbox, but just like other go viral. What's the difference? What's the key differentiation point or factor that makes it viral or flopping?
Well, I think, first of all, you have to always be authentic.
Yeah,
it's difficult.
Very important.
Because you see a new platform or a platform with a large audience, you always try to see, okay, like what are you trying to achieve essentially? Just like to reach a big KPI number of views, but low engagement, low conversion, or nothing really that carry the brand, or you want to set a footprint for longer presence on a platform and keep like driving something in a full alignment with your brand. Usually, like virtual world and games, they are not different than social media in that sense. Like you don't just open a YouTube channel and that's it. You have to provide content, regularly like, drive events. So same in video games. You can launch a beginning of experience, but it's better if you do what we call live ops, like regular updates. It can be seasonal with new content, new characters, and so on to drive those to have that authenticity. And so there's a few things that appear like in the space of virtual world, brands have jumped into, if they are open to Web3 and all the idea around ownership, they jump to Sandbox. If not, they look maybe more at Roblox or Fortnite. What they have missed maybe is like on Roblox, like the audience is much younger. They tend to be more kids.
Kids, right?
Kids have a different way to consume, to engage. Even if you reach millions of kids, they are not necessarily going to think of like your brand and experience in the same way. And so that's something that usually is prone to like a non-successful activation. You will get big numbers and then very low conversion afterward because anyway they are already moving to the next thing. Or sometimes you launch on Roblox an experience, but what's the link between your brand, your story, and the experience in Roblox? And then Roblox, you just want a viral, casual game that sometimes feels like totally unrelated.
That's actually true, and I saw that quite often with brands. And also when there was like this big NFT hype, the same brands would just like drop NFTs.
And the same with the AI. So you have to be careful. I mean, it's great to experiment, but always like find the right balance and like how you stay authentic, and you don't just do it for the sake of doing it.
It has to make sense, right?
Sandbox as well, probably at the peak of like the hype of Metaverse, we had brands that came in and they had really no idea of like what they wanted to do. They just wanted to be there. And I think it's like even though we bring the team, we brought like a trusted ecosystem of partners who are here to educate about what the platform can do and like how to be successful on the platform. It takes a bit of time and you have to be there to understand like the medium where you are actually.
Do brands need to have like a digital team for that? So that, I mean, let's say they have an activation or a game or a world within Sandbox to just continue it. Is that what you're saying? And also the second point, to have a strategy around it, because I feel like sometimes there is a bit of a lack of strategy, or as an outsider, I don't see brands really have a digital strategy or a thought through digital strategy.
I think, well, we're still 2025. But They understood the internet, they understood the Web 2.0 with social media and YouTube. So they do have like social and digital strategies. They start to incorporate AI now much better, and Web 3 as well. I think brands want to stay culturally relevant, so they tend to incorporate the younger talent, and quite naturally, if they let that young talent express their feedback and give suggestion, it leads usually to like being more closely in touch with the audience,
which makes sense.
Like staying, unless it's on purpose to stay sticky to like a very solid, engaged audience, but that's going to get older and older. So in 10 years, it will be then maybe already consuming differently, while the rest of the world has moved super fast into a different direction. Very few brands in the world have succeeded to maintain that legacy a decade and a few decades afterwards, right?
Yeah, and that's important. I mean, a lot of brands are legacy brands or heritage brands, and I think especially those brands, they have to be very careful, right? They navigate in the Web3 space.
Usually they maintain the scarcity, they don't open shops everywhere just to be present and have touch point. They make sure that they don't sell constantly new collection of products and overflow their own market and own collectors' ability to follow their trend. Yeah. And they insist on the heritage and passing from one generation to another. And you probably know better. So my background is gaming.
But I think I think that's really important. They have to maintain that, and that's also a beautiful way. You can do it in a digital way as well. You can, especially the blockchain. I mean, it's permanent. It's there forever. So if you want to have like a legacy, a proven legacy, or a heritage, you can just like have everything on the blockchain, and that's really cool.
I think like one of the important historical mark that started to raise people awareness about like the fact of digital legacy was when Bruce Willis actually said, but I spent $50,000 on my iTunes library. If I die, what happened? Like, who do I give it? And that's a real case in media back then.
Wow,
So your iTunes library is still not, unfortunately, on the blockchain, but Apple solved that with family access. And if you pass away, and I was reading this article now, like all the platforms are integrating team to manage, like what do we do with the social profile of the user who passed away, and do we allow their family to, first, like, can they make a choice when they are still alive of what their family can do? Can they close the page? Can they keep them open? And so on. And so the same question will become more and more important and omnipresent. Needs to be taken into consideration now on like any digital platform.
Interesting. And again, it's a legal question as well, which is a lot of work for lawyers. Another podcast, exactly.
Experts, but
I would
love my kids to pass as well, like as part of my legacy. Oh, here's my first CryptoKitties. They are part of it.
Exactly.
Here's my CryptoPunk. It's like the first and most valuable NFT that exists. Exactly. The art exists only on chain.
No, it can't be lost just because you passed away. No, and I mean it's really a momentum. It's history. I mean, some people, they collect NFTs or digital assets to then probably open a museum in the future, or just like to give it,
Space for family. We had a wedding in the Metaverse on Sandbox.
Oh wow!
And
okay.
Like when I met with the newlyweds, they told me as well, like we want also this space to evolve as our family evolves, to bring our memory and allow our friends
to join that.
And so on.
That's progressive.
And we also had a lot of people who bought a piece of virtual land on Sandbox. They also thought and did it is a purpose of like an investment that will pass in the family afterwards. So let's say, we're buying for the kids, and maybe if digital space will hold value over time.
Yeah, which makes total sense.
It will be something that they can benefit from.
100%. And you mentioned like stores before, like that some luxury brands, they kind of like gate their stores. They don't open that many stores. I was wondering like about token-gated commerce. Is it possible, maybe now or maybe in the future, for customers or users to buy something or let's say real world assets even it could be a piece of clothes or anything in the Sandbox directly. Let's say you have an activation with a brand and I go there and buy a t-shirt. Is that possible? And then I get it sent back home, like physically. Is that possible?
Yeah, I think like it's kind of like the dream of every brand, like to be able to push commerce. We've seen e-commerce, m-commerce on mobile, and gaming commerce will probably become a thing. It's still quite early, I would say, because we have still to ensure like the audience are there and enjoying before like they are being advertised too much or like trying to be sold something. So when Facebook rebranded itself as Meta, a lot of brands started to imagine like VR shop and shop in Metaverse. People are not coming to games and Metaverse to spend to buy physical product. They can do that much more efficiently, again, on the mobile. In 2 clicks, in less than 1 minute, you can order the product. So they are here to explore. It's almost thinking like, hey, I'm going to travel to a new destination. I come as a tourist. I want to take time to discover. So you should think more of Metaverse as a space where like people are given attention. You just like when you walk into a physical store or like a store of like a luxury brand, you have a lot of people who welcome you, who guide you, who are here to listen to what you have to say. And maybe you will buy nothing, but you will come back because you enjoy the conversation until the moment you buy, because you can feel as a user that they gave you attention to you. And I think it's very important to value that. Yeah. And it's something that's totally absent in the online commerce. Okay. When you buy on the website, what the only form of interaction you have is like this tiny pop-up, which is a chat. If you want to have someone who's going to advise on the product, what can look better on you, and so on. And people, they specifically in luxury, from what I understood, like people don't buy the product for the product. No. They buy the product for the status, for the experience it brings, for the interaction,
the connection they build over years,
etc. And I feel like gaming and Metaverse will have a better option to offer that. What we've seen is usually not necessarily token gated, because gating NFTs and token collection, they are limited, like usually 1,000, few thousand, sometimes less. So it's too small of an audience to want to sell only to them. But we've seen that what we call like Phygital, it's a contraction of digital and physical, where like people buy an NFT and they can have an option to claim to have like a physical good. It could be a book, could be usually a hoodie. I've bought several like luxury hoodies from creators that I like, for example, and I have the NFT and a digital asset that represent that, and I hold and can use for multiple purposes, and I receive at my home like the physical hoodie, for example. Yeah, that's probably one of the way that it will come through. Yeah, I think. But still, you have to think, let's first focus on like authenticity and bring something fun that people want to come back before try to sell them something.
Next level already. Yes. Yeah, because I think it's still early stage probably, right? And people have to get used to like metaverses, platforms and games.
The first thing we try to recommend to the brand we partner is like, be generous. Yeah. Like give digital rewards, make people feel like because they gave their time to discover your world and complete your mission, they should receive, like you were expecting, a form of like a proof, a collectible, an equipment. It can be like, I don't know, a cap. We have like a Gucci cap on Sandbox. We have some sneakers.
Yeah, that's so cool. So I mean, I received a notebook.
Yes, that's an example.
But that was a bit like, okay, a bit, just disappointed. Yeah. But thank you so much for being here. I love gaming, as I said. Thank you so much for sharing everything with us.
All right. Yeah. Well, it's a pleasure. Thank you, Karin, and I hope to see you in the Metaverse.
I actually have an account on Sandbox. I tried it once, but early on, so I have to go back. Yeah, definitely.
We have a new season that's coming by mid-September.
Okay.
Great brand.
Okay. I will make sure that I will be there. Thank you, visionaries, for rewiring your perspective with us. If this episode sparked new ideas, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and follow us across platforms. This is Rewire Fashion, where the future of fashion isn't just worn, it's built. Until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and keep rewiring the future.